Well, hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something that might come as a surprise to you. Although, if you've watched my videos, you know a mantra here is that your skin is a window to what is going on internally. Well, your skin, your hair, your nails, they might just be trying to tell you, hey, look, it's time to dial in the diet. What you are eating is negatively affecting your body, and we are providing you clues right here. I'm a board-certified dermatologist. If you're new here, in this video, we're going to do a deep dive into some common warning signs on your skin, your hair, your nails that your diet needs a revamp. If you've noticed changes like dull skin, brittle hair, nails that break easily and are paper thin, have ridges, these aren't just signs of stress, although stress is a big contributing factor in how our skin, hair, and nails look. Could just be, though, that your diet is not optimized with proper nutrition to fuel the building blocks needed for healthy, radiant skin, strong, healthy hair, shiny hair, and beautiful nails. Now, if you go on social media, in most cases, you're gonna find a lot of recommendations for diet that are fueled with misinformation. Lots of fear-mongering around perfectly healthy foods alongside promotion of crash diets that are unhealthy. We're not gonna be doing any of that in this video, nor are we going to be making any bold claims that there is some miracle supplement out there. We're going to focus on nuance here, and that is long-term patterns in your dietary intake that pay off dividends for your total body health. Some common skin signs of a nutrient-poor, ultra-processed diet include dull uneven skin tone, which can happen when your skin does not receive proper antioxidants necessary to combat oxidative stress, so it becomes a little bit more taxed. Things like vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E are necessary to really help your skin be the defense that you need and to fight off free radicals from all of the environmental aggressors that we're exposed to on a daily basis. Dry, flaky skin can also be a warning sign that maybe your diet is just kind of lacking in optimal fat intake. Essential fatty acids play a critical role in how our skin barrier is constructed, and fatty acid deficiency can leave the skin very dry, flaky, and prone to itch. Have you noticed that if you get a cut or a scrape, it seems to take forever to heal? This could be a warning sign that your diet is not optimized for good quality protein intake, a balance of all necessary amino acids, or importantly, that it is insufficient in zinc intake. Slow wound healing and frequent skin infections, they are warning signs of a variety of health problems, okay? So you can't really diagnose yourself as having a nutrient or deficiency or insufficiency, but these can be clues, at the very least, that something needs to be checked out. Who here has ever dealt with a bout of what's called angular cheilitis, painful cracking at the corners of the mouth, essentially breakdown and erosion of the skin barrier right here in the corners of the mouth. The candida yeast that normally live in our mouth, they creep on out into those cracks, they colonize those areas, and you get this creamy white exudate. Very painful, very uncomfortable. To be clear, there are many reasons why one might develop angular cheilitis, but one we should not ignore is nutrient deficiency. Vitamin B12, folate, riboflavin, iron. Deficiencies in these key vitamins, minerals can lead to angular cheilitis. Over-reliance on an ultra-processed diet that is stripped of key nutrients, ignoring fruits and vegetables, legumes, whole grains, lean protein sources can start to deprive your skin of everything that it needs to optimally function. Now, if you are not aware, growing a human hair, it is a high energy task. As a matter of fact, if you enter a period of time where you are going through a crash diet, you've lost a lot of weight, your nutrient intake, your caloric intake drops below what your body needs, your hair is not going to be a priority for your body. It's simply not. You're going to experience a lot of hair shedding. That's known as telogen effluvium, and I have lots of videos about this. But not just the hair shedding, you might also start to notice changes in your hair strand health. Brittle strands that break easily are very fragile. The color just appears dull. You lose that luminosity, that radiance of the hair strands. These findings can be warning signs of underlying nutrient deficiencies or insufficiencies, meaning you are getting some and enough to not fall apart, but your hair is like, let's make sure we divert these things to more pressing processes in the body. We can't have a conversation about hair shedding and hair loss without mentioning iron deficiency. Iron is very, very important for growing hair, and excessive hair shedding and hair loss can be a manifestation of underlying iron iron deficiency. Iron deficiency is actually the most common micronutrient deficiency worldwide. However, one thing I want to emphasize is that not all iron deficiency states are due to diet. Sometimes it's due to other factors like blood loss, for example. So iron deficiency is something that should be diagnosed by your healthcare provider and appropriately worked up to figure out why you have it. There are even autoimmune causes of iron deficiency where you can take in all of the iron-rich foods in the world. Your body is not going to be able to take that up. Very important that you always know what you're dealing with, the root cause, and that way you can pursue the proper path to correcting. Because you can chase iron supplements to correct what you believe to be an iron deficiency related to diet, take in a bunch of iron and not do anything for you, but leave you constipated. Here's another one that does not get enough attention: selenium. Man, oh man, is selenium ever vital for healthy hair growth? I actually have a whole video dedicated just to the warning signs of inadequate selenium intake. Brittle, dull hair, hair shedding, premature graying as well. However, this is another one where you want to be really careful about dietary supplements because selenium is one of those Goldilocks things. You can have too little, you get hair loss, but you can also have too much selenium, also causes hair loss. Best to get selenium from foods, so please do not pursue selenium supplements unless your doctor has told you to. Proteins, healthy fats are all vital for healthy hair growth. If your diet is very restrictive, too low in calories, or primarily consists of high-calorie, ultra-processed foods which are nutrient poor, you can run into these situations. What about our nails? Yes, there are many nail findings associated with a poor diet. Brittle nails, nail ridging, nail peeling, and slow-growing nails. Normally takes about 6 months for the fingernails to grow out, but in the setting of inadequate nutrient intake, that could be a little bit slower. Brittle peeling nails can be linked with iron deficiency, zinc deficiency, inadequate protein intake. Sometimes the nails can change to take on the appearance of a little spoon. They have a little central divot in the center. You could put a drop of water there and it would stay in place. Those are called spoon nails or koilonychia, and that can be a warning sign of iron deficiency. Now, newborn babies frequently have koilonychia. It's not always a sign of iron deficiency, but it is a clue. Vertical nail ridges become more common with age. They're actually a normal finding in older adults. However, in the setting of an underlying nutrient deficiency, you can have nail ridging. It's important always to examine the entire clinical picture. If you're noticing brittle nails, nail changes, along with dull, brittle hair, excessive hair shedding, the two together suggest perhaps more of an influence of your diet. It would be unusual to just have your diet affect your nails and not your hair. Take a look at your nail beds. If they appear to be getting paler, that also could be a sign of an underlying anemia, perhaps related to low iron or low B12. The nails can tell a lot about a person's health, so if you pay attention and you notice some concerning changes, definitely bring those to the attention of your healthcare provider because they might herald an underlying insufficiency that, if left unchecked, could become a deficiency. And God forbid you end up in a situation where you are sick, you are in the hospital, maybe you get in a bad car accident. The last thing you want in that situation of acute medical need is to be teetering on the brink of nutrient adequacy, because when you are in those situations, say you need emergent surgery, you need to be well stocked in the nutrients in your body. It makes a difference for the ultimate surgical outcome, the ultimate hospital course. Older adults are a category of individuals who end up, unfortunately, falling behind in nutrient intake due to decline in appetite with age, changes in taste. You tend to, as you get older, maybe prefer simpler foods. Maybe you even have some difficulties chewing, mouth pain. All sorts of factors play a role. Unfortunately, this can result in nutrient inadequacy. The skin could provide some clues, but like I said, if these older adults, say, take a fall, they end up in the hospital with a broken hip, their hospital course, their wound healing, their recovery is going to be significantly delayed if they are not optimized in their nutrition. Now, I want to talk specifically about a diet rich in ultra-processed foods. To be clear, I don't believe that these foods should never, ever be consumed. I think they can be more than fine to consume in moderation. The problem lies when people rely solely on these as their day-to-day meals for the most part. Like, if you are solely eating these foods, what do I mean by ultra-processed foods? These include processed, refined, sugary carbohydrates, those ready-made packaged noodles, anything that you get from a window, I would say, for the most part, like drive-thrus, for example, example. These foods not only are often very high in added refined sugar, they tend to not have the nutrient constitution that a good, well-planned, well-balanced, home-prepared meal using more ultra-processed, I'll say, because whole foods is kind of a vague term, but stuff that you have to prepare more from scratch, although don't get overwhelmed by that. It doesn't have to mean like grinding your own flour and the like. Yeah, you can get yourself into a situation where you're not getting good nutrition into the diet. It's going to be reflected in your hair, skin, and nails. These foods also have a very high salt intake as well. That excessive sodium is quite taxing on our body's circulation and can lead to problems with blood pressure and kidney disease. But when it comes to skin sallowness, radiance overall, the role of ultra-processed foods cannot be ignored because the high glycemic load of these foods, due to their high content of added refined sugars, can lead to a process known as glycation, which leaves the skin sallow, stiff, less elastic, and can contribute to more obvious signs of skin aging, deeper wrinkles. That's just the skin side of that. It also has similar negative consequences for your blood vessels as well. So there are internal things that are going on that mimic the skin yellowing, the rigidity of the skin, as it relates to having a diet primarily consisting of these high glycemic processed sugary foods. If you are going to a crumble cookie every single day and like eating one of those as your lunch, yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. I think people can get really overwhelmed by, well, what should I eat? I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm not here to tell any individual what they should or should not eat. But you want to make sure that you are doing your best to prioritize a balanced diet that includes representation from key groups: fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, lean sources of protein, dairy if you're able to tolerate it, and fatty fish provided you're not allergic, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds. Make sure you're trying your best to incorporate these, introduce them. Spend a little bit of time educating yourself on how to prepare these foods, how to make easy to prepare at home meals that contain a variety of foods that will get you a variety of colors, different food groups. This is really what you should strive for. Don't rely on someone else to feed you. Nuts and seeds provide a very natural source of zinc, lean proteins to really make sure that you are giving your body a full complement of amino acids to build strong, healthy hair, healthy skin, and strong nails. Don't skip out on fats. The no-fat diet is no way to care for your body. When you make sure to get in your fruits and vegetables every day, studies suggest that these foods can help your skin combat the negative consequences of ultraviolet radiation exposure, meaning it makes your skin less susceptible to UV damage. You don't need to chase after some expensive superfoods list. You don't need to go to that ridiculous grocery store where everything is like thousands of dollars. What is it called? Erewhon? No. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about in today's video with regards to some clues that your diet is just not where it needs to be, and that you might need to start making some adjustments. Now, this video really just skimmed the surface, but on this channel, I have a ton of videos on specific nutrient deficiencies and the skin, hair, and nails warning signs, because the skin is a window to what is going on internally, and your diet makes a huge difference. I encourage you to check these videos out to educate yourself about how diet affects our body. I will link them in the description box and in a pinned comment so you can watch more, such as the role of vitamin D in hair loss, vitamin D in skin health, zinc, B12, iron. But if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe.